Junkyard Joust qualifiers were pure insanity, and we've got a lot of rivalries brewing in this upcoming match. 10 teams, and only 3 of them can make it to the finals. It's the Junkyard Joust main event. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. Here are the 10 teams that will be competing in the first main event. For some of them it was an easy climb to get here, for others they barely advanced. But all these teams have an equal chance to make it to the finals. Let's take a closer look at our teams. 2-time champs, the Copperheads, are back and they are ready to make it to the finals and give it another shot. Emerald Undercurrent made it to the finals last season, but only 10th place. They are trying to stop a decline. The Ford Lightning did well for hired muscle. Can the rest of the team step it up? The Bus on Junkyard Juicers got them here. Can it take them farther? The Neon Nashers showed some survivability and good promise in their qualifier. Last season's champions, the Shredheads, are here to defend their title, and they've got a new guy. Silver Slivers are still gunning for the finals. It's been elusive. And Soylent Green has never made it to the finals. Could this be their season? Stream Crossers haven't been around for a while, but they are showing promise as well. And Truculent are always pretty solid, but can they get back to the finals? In this match, only the Silver Slivers and Emerald Undercurrent have bonus actions. Will they be able to put those to good use? The Ghostbusters are here, keeping an eye on their team and staying away from that new flavor of Junkyard Juice, Poisonous Pink.
Cool as ice! Forget the salt!
Got a couple new vehicles out here, and now it's time for the Joust. Here we go, everybody. Main event time, round 1. We're off to the races, or the crashes. Tucker Torpedo starts off for Copperheads, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Tucker Torpedo, a solid starter, lines it up. Next up, Mini Cooper for Soylent Green, sponsored by G Zeus. The running order is at the top of the screen. That's the order the teams will come down in. They each send one car down. They get to decide which car to send down, but the order is randomized. Cosmic Coupe has yet to be eliminated in this season, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm. Cosmic takes a shot and gets the first elimination of main event 1. Sideways or upside down at the end of the round, you are out. Muscle and Blown, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Muscle and Blown takes a shot at Cosmic Coupe, and Cosmic perches on top of the Tucker. That's just not a great position to be in, but Cosmic Coupe has handled it before. Very wobbly. First down for Truculent, it's the Service Bed Truck, sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Service Bed Truck hits a solid line, but does manage to displace Muscle and Blown. Cosmic stays there somehow. Hot Tub for the Slivers, also sponsored by Reaper EOD. Hot Tub slams into the line and goes sideways. Might be playing dead, but Muscle and Blown is definitely dead. And Cosmic Coupe is hanging on. Poisonous Pink, named after the flavor, sponsored by the Aardvark of Freedom. Hot Tub repels Poisonous Pink. That car has been pretty good for the Juicers. It backs down the track. Tail Dragger up for Emerald Undercurrent, sponsored by Coffee Run. Tail Dragger locks it in. Hot Tub is locked in upside down. That could end up being bad for the Slivers. Tail Dragger's got that rear end. Could it cause trouble? For Ecto 1, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. For the Stream Crossers. Ecto 1 with a nice boot and throws Tail Dragger off the track. Tail Dragger stays alive though, right side up. Hot Tub tries to escape and Poisonous Pink is sideways on the track. Rally Speciale up first for the Shredhead, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Rally pushes Ecto through the 2 cars that were sideways on the track, and now they both make a recovery. Not a great result there for the Shredheads. They do not want to help the other teams. Purple Passion Woody for the Copperhead, sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Purple Passion attempts a takedown on Rally Speciale and is denied. Good recovery there for the Shredheads. Service Bed and Ecto are both poised for a dismount right now. Here comes Swamp Buggy, sponsored by Sloth's Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Swamp Buggy tries to bug Purple Passion, but it's not going anywhere. Stays right side up, and now Swamp Buggy is poised for a dismount. What's Up, sponsored by G Zeus. What's Up for the Nashers takes Swamp Buggy right out of this tournament, and Ecto 1 as well. Ecto 1, a very solid car for Stream Crossers. That is going to hurt if it stays that way. Mod Speeder, sponsored by Sand Dragon Workshop. Mod Speeder slams into the line of cars. We got 4 backed up. 89 Dodge Ram D350, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. The Dodge Ram doesn't have much going, just kind of sidles in and relaxes. 5 cars lined up, going back. Power Piston, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror for the Slivers. Power Piston shoots right underneath that Dodge and throws it over and out. A nice takedown, although Power Pistons is now curbside, which could end up hurting it. Fully Stocked, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Fully Stocked annihilates Power Pistons and Mod Speeder, but Mod Speeder does not make a recovery. Power Pistons does. And that is the important difference right there. What's Up is sideways, 90 degrees to the track. The infamous Jet Threat 3, sponsored by the Mad Brit King. Jet Threat 3 came over to Emerald Undercurrents and has been doing a great job. Takes out Fully Stocked right there. Stream Crosser sending down Drift Tech, sponsored by King Jester. Drift Tech hits a pretty solid line, and now What's Up has basically escaped. Rolling Solo for the Shredhead, sponsored by Jedi. Rolling Solo annihilates Drift Tech, just flips it right over and tries to get underneath Jet Threat. Shredhead wants revenge on Emerald Undercurrent for what happened to them in a previous season when they didn't make the finals. Semi-Psycho, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Semi-Psycho, again a solid line, so not much action on that. Rolling Solo stays steady. Rare Flow for Soylent. This car has not been eliminated yet, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Rare Flow shoots underneath Semi-Psycho. Semi-Psycho balances on the side of the track. That does not look like a good recipe for a successful recovery on the next hit. Rolling Solo's up in the air now too. Turbine Time, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Ooh, Turbine Time with a nice hit. Semi-Psycho with a fantastic recovery. Rolling Solo, not so much. Shredheads are gonna lose that car, and Copperheads are okay. Next up, Custom 68 Camaro, sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Boom! Rare Flow continues to flow down the track, and Jet Threat is toppled from that undercut. Good hit by the Camaro, but now it is curbside, and Rare Flow keeps going. Service bed truck in trouble. 71 Ford F250, sponsored by Emo Dingo. The Ford slams the Camaro off the track. It skitters over to the right, manages to stay alive, and now Rare Flow has gotten all the way under service bed. Tomb Up for the Slivers, sponsored by Chris and Kat's Casa de Chaos. Tomb Up hits the line. The Ford F250 starts to get squeezed off, goes curbside. Service bed goes up, has not gone over yet. Maximum Thirst Eliminator for the Juicers, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. The Eliminator rockets off of the wheels of Tomb Up and goes off the track. A little precarious right there. Looks like that could be close to 45. It's a good car for that team. They're hoping they don't lose it. Fusion Buster for Emerald, sponsored by Bart Allen. Fusion Buster gets underneath Tomb Up, forces it up in the air, hindquarters a swirling, and look at this, a last-second recovery by Jet Threat. Service bed finally starts to topple, and it is to Jet Threat's benefit. Phastasm, sponsored by Coffee Run. Phastasm shoots underneath 2 cars on the track. Tomb Up gets the worst of it. Fusion Buster begins the dismount, almost completes it. Turbine Sublime, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror for the Shreds. Turbine Sublime shoots Phastasm over and off the track. Phastasm makes the recovery happen. Nice undercut there. Mega Duty, sponsored by Sean and Patrick Hogan. Mega Duty goes for a big takedown of Turbine Sublime, going after the champs, and it is not a good idea. Mega Duty turns over, Turbine Sublime hits a 6 and then makes that recovery happen, just plants it on top of Tomb Up. The end result being a self-elim, but also Fusion Buster now is very close to eliminated. High IQ for Soylent Green, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. High IQ shoots into the line, hits a pretty solid wall. Fusion Buster goes more sideways, I'd say. Yeah, that's definitely beyond 45. That's trouble for Emerald. Speedy Perez, sponsored by Star Corps Industries for the Neon Nashers. Speedy shoots into High IQ, starts to get underneath, and it's definitely looking like Fusion Buster is finished, Buster. Mad Mike Drift Attack, sponsored by Jesus. Mad Mike sneaks underneath Speedy and throws High IQ over. Looks like High IQ is dangerously close to eliminated. Speedy definitely eliminated upside down, but still on the track, so there's always a chance for recovery. The custom Fanta truck for Truculent, sponsored by the Aardvark of Freedom. The Fanta truck manages to get underneath Mad Mike and starts to oust it from the track. And now it's time for Solaire, sponsored by Judy Collins. Normally on the Crimson Crashers, this time Solaire is on Silver Slivers and gets a pretty good undercut. Eliminates Mad Mike, but cannot remove the Fanta truck from the track. So one elimination, but not the devastation we're used to seeing with Solaire. Barry Busplosion, sponsored by Sloth Automotive Sachet and Buffet. The bus does it hard. Look at that. Speedy Perez recovers from that hit, but Solaire and the Fanta truck are both eliminated. And if you look carefully, you can see a third elimination. That's what we call a
triple takedown.
That's right. The Thirst Eliminator was toppled from an upright position, and that was a triple takedown. Biggest vehicle in the match, and it struck when the time was right. Lamelt, sponsored by the Aardvark of Freedom. Lamelt cannot get underneath that bus, but I tell you what, there's probably a nice little ramp now set up from that back fin of Lamelt. And Power Rocket will be the first to take it, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Power Rocket drives off the fin, but just barely, kind of gets hung up on the edge and parks on top of Lamelt, poised for the next hit. Coming down next is the newbie for Shredheads, 4-Track, sponsored by Judy Collins. 4-Track knocks Power Rocket off, but it backfires. 4-Track flipping off over Lamelt. New car taking on these two veterans. You had to think that was going to be the result. That's a loss for Shredheads. Speaking of veterans, here's the Chevy 1500, sponsored by Coffee Run. Chevy blasts off of Lamelt, hits the bus square on, flips over, and is out. That is a devastating loss for Copperheads. That truck has been a hero for them. Wow. Shell Shock for Soylent, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Shell Shock flips all over the place and at the last second pulls out the recovery. This has been a promising car for Soylent Green, and that recovery shows you why. Amazoom for Neon, sponsored by Mr. Mark. Amazoom with that low front does not take the ramp and starts to push Lamelt up briefly. Amazoom might be able to stop itself from going off that ramp. And here comes the Ford F-150 Lightning, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers. The Ford also with a low front, but it forces Amazoom off the track. Amazoom makes a nice recovery, and now the Ford is poised behind Lamelt. Lamelt's got to be a little afraid here. The bus is starting to move. Chevy Silverado, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm. A little Chevy on Ford action there, and the Ford gets off the track, escapes just fine, and now the Chevy is poised for Lamelt. The infamous Shadowjet 2, sponsored by Sicken. Shadowjet 2 tries to take out the Silverado, can't quite do it. The Silverado flips right back over, lands on top of the eliminated 4-Track, and it's a little unstable right there, though that could be bad. The Lemon King for the Juicers, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. The Lemon King cannot prevent that ramp of Lamelt and goes flying off of it. Actually started to leap up in the air off of Shadowjet, hits the bus, its own teammate, and flops over done. Silverado also eliminated on that hit. Shadowjet makes it out unscathed. Mig Rig, sponsored by the Test Joust series over on the Junkyard Joust Discord. Mig Rig with a nasty hit, smacks a big chunk off the back of the bus, and it goes flying all over the place. Hits the tires and lands over by the crates. But bad news for Emerald. Mig Rig failing to recover on that landing. Bad luck for them. Here comes Spectite for the Stream Crossers, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Spectite leaps off of Lamelt, and that is the biggest and longest jump we've seen today. Not a whole lot of height on that, but some great distance. PD ends up down by the crates, and Spectite makes a fabulous recovery way over in the corner. Group C Fantasy, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Group C Fantasy takes the same leap and has different results. Oh my gosh, this car was the reason that the champs became the champs last season. It has just been eliminated by Lamelt. The Shredheads are in dire straits right now. That was the final car of round 1. What a devastating round, especially for the champs. 21 eliminations in that round. We're going to take a couple of measurements. Looks like the Ecto one is definitely out at 60 degrees. Service bed truck, not even close. So that's going to push it up to 22 eliminations. And a lot of good teams losing 3 cars in round 1. That is bad news. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Former champs, the Shred Heads, drop 3 down to 2, and so does everybody else on this page, except for Neon Nashers, who have yet to lose a vehicle. Junkyard Juicers fall 3 down to 2. Silver Slivers, Emerald Undercurrent, and Copperheads are all down to 3. Stream Crossers only lost 1. It's looking pretty good for them. Round 2, here we go, starting off with Cosmic Coupe for the Neon Nashers, who had a brilliant round 1. They're going to want to capitalize on that. A little smack from Phantasm, and it goes curbside. Tries to get off the track, but can't make it. Hot Tub attempts to punish Phantasm, throws it into the crates, and Phantasm makes another beautiful recovery. Good car for the Crossers. Tail Dragger cruises into Hot Tub, pushes it up a little bit. Cosmic Cruiser, wow, that was close, almost toppling over, but then brings it back at the last second. Tucker Torpedo solidifies the line, pushes both of those cars off. Neither of them gets eliminated. 2 cars backed up. A punishing blow from the service bed truck, and it dislodges Tail Dragger, but also dislodges the service bed truck. It's curbside. Ford F-150 zooms down the track, tries to eliminate service bed truck, and it is not having it. Stays level, tries to back down and away. Still no eliminations, although Hot Tub is inching closer. Poisonous Pink dislodges the Lightning, and it's gonna take a hit. Could be a problem. And yep, it is a problem. The Lightning flips over. Hired Muscle are in deep trouble now. That's their hero vehicle. Poisonous Pink does a great pivot to a landing. Rally Speciale zooms into place. Not too much going on there, except Rare Flow now starting to get under Tucker. What's Up bounces off a Rally Speciale, bounces back, gets off the track. Rally recovers, no eliminations, and a great escape for Neon. Drift Tech somehow clips What's Up, sends it skittering over into the tires, but no damage. Rare Flow's starting to get all the way down to the end. Power Piston shoots Drift Tech into the air, into the crates. It bounces back, makes a nice recovery, and then it hits a height of 6 before it makes that landing. Still just the 1 elimination in this round. Jet Threat 3 hoists Power Pistons into the air, throws it over, but Power Pistons makes a great recovery, good agility, hits a 6, lands upside down, but then turns over and makes that recovery happen, keeping Silver Slivers alive. Purple Passion Woody tries to use Jet Threat to do some damage to Rare Flow, but it is repelled. Tucker just about gets thrown off the track. The F-250 heaves into position and loses something out of the flatbed. Couple of things came apart there. Service bed truck just about flips over on that hit, though. Couple of things came loose. Hopefully the truck doesn't need those. Hired Muscle's only remaining hope, that Camaro slots into place. Hope it's tight. Because now it's Busplosion time, and that was indeed a Busplosion. The Camaro gets thrown over, and we might have just lost our first team. Hired Muscle were a long shot, and boy, did they just prove it there. Wow, the bus just about tipped over, though, on that hit. The line was pretty tight, and now it looks like that bus is unstable. But Shell Shock cannot do any damage. Looks like the bus might be on firm ground here. Turbine Sublime takes a shot at Shell Shock, gets underneath and puts it in a vulnerable position. Turbine Time plows into Turbine Sublime, and the line is locked. Nobody moves. Spectite hits that tight line. Petey goes flying. Spectite stays on the track. Shadowjet 2 tries a takedown, but Spectite makes a flip to a recovery. Another survive for the Stream Crossers. Lamelt strikes, hoping maybe to set up a ramp. Pushes Shadowjet forward underneath Turbine Time. Neon has yet to lose a car. Semi-Psycho takes the Lamelt ramp, and it does not end well. Slides down the length of the bus into a pile of cars, almost pushes Lightning back over again, but then ends up sideways and eliminated. Amazoon prevents the Lamelt ramp yet again. Turbine time is swinging around there, but staying upright. Power Rocket gently punches under Amazoon, not enough to do any damage, and Amazoon is just about off the track. Speedy Perez doesn't want to get that elimination on two Neon cars that are in vulnerable positions and does a great job of carefully removing them from the track. Power Rocket also okay, and that will round out round 2. This time only 3 eliminations in the round. We lost 22 in round 1. This is a massive reduction in losses. The competition is heating up big time. Let's take a look at the aftermath. We lost 1 team. Hired Muscle is out. Nobody else lost a car over here. And Copperhead's lost 1. They are down to 2, and no one else has lost 1 as well. That means Neon and Stream Crossers are doing very well in this match. They might be teams to keep an eye on in the second half. Looks like something supernatural might be going on with this barrel of poisonous pink. Luckily, the Ghostbusters are on it. And hopefully that will take care of the problem. I guess we'll find out in the second half of Main Event 1, coming next Sunday. Thank you to my patrons for making this season possible. Become a patron now to support more seasons. Please give the video a like. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.